In the previous segment, we alluded to two linguistic dimensions, meaning and reference. We're all pretty much familiar with the concept of meaning, or at least we think we are. How about reference? The reference of an expression is what the expression applies to, while the meaning of an expression is its content. Take a look at these two examples. The sum of 1 plus 1 and the smallest even number. Both of these may be used to refer to the same thing, namely the number 2. Yet they don't have the same content, which is equivalent to saying that they don't have the same meaning, for meaning is equivalent to content. Both reference and meaning belong to the semantic dimension of a language, and vagueness and ambiguity are therefore two different forms of semantic unclarity. It's worth noting that, besides the semantic dimension of language, which concerns the meaning or content of expressions, linguists are also quite interested in the syntactic dimension, which concerns the grammar or the structure of language. If vagueness and ambiguity insinuate themselves into the terms or concepts that populate the statements in our arguments, we are very likely to argue fallaciously. Confused predication stems from semantic unclarity between statements in an argument. It's a fallacy that occurs if we mistakenly think that we can apply the same predicate, that is, a property or attribute, that rightly belongs to a whole or a part, to a related part or whole in which the predicate, or to which I should say, the predicate cannot be applied. This sounds a little confusing now, but once we see a few examples, it should be clear. Here's a schematic representation of the relations between the sources of linguistic confusion, vagueness, ambiguity, and confused predication, and the fallacies and paradoxes associated with them. If we're using vague language, we invite such puzzlements as the Sorites paradox and the fallacy of slippery slope. If we fall prey to ambiguity, we may slip into equivocation or amphiboly. With confused predication, we run the risk of committing the fallacy of composition or division. This concludes this segment of a multi-part lecture on fallacies of unclear language. Please proceed to the next segment.